Cyber briefing for Thursday, the 16th of February. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Intel has released patches for their SGX, which there's their software guard extensions, after various vulnerabilities have been discovered. So these vulnerabilities can allow potential escalation of privilege, could also lead to information disclosure, which is, I think, a little awkward uh, for them, as the feature is designed to enable secure processing of sensitive data in encrypted memory areas. So, good that they've spotted this. There's a list of the affected CPUs, affected devices, linked from the article that we'll post here. Recommendation is to upgrade firmware, and if you work in infrastructure, you will be rolling your eyes and groaning at the effort required in order to do that. However, it is worth keeping on top of these things. So have a look at that one if you're using Intel devices. Um, this one almost beggars belief. Hyundai and Kia are rolling out emergency software updates because a popular challenge on TikTok that's been going around since the middle of last year has shown how you can steal the car using nothing more than a USB slot and a USB cable, which is hidden behind the steering column cover. Apparently, the flaw lies in the logic that allows the turnkey to start system. Turnkey to start system means basically it's supposed to check that there's the key in the ignition is matched to the ECU of the car, and then will allow the car to start by turning the key. Apparently, you can bypass the whole lot by plugging into a USB slot. So, firstly, why on earth would you build a car that can be stolen by simply plugging in a USB cable and presumably somewhere or another telling it to start? Um, and secondly, if this remarkably idiotic flaw has been promoted on TikTok as a challenge for something like 9 months, why have they not done something about it before? If you have a Kia or Hyundai car, watch out for, or in fact, go and find out about how to get the emergency software upgrade. Strongly recommend that. In the States, there has been an 85% increase in thefts of Kia cars since the TikTok challenge came out. What can you say? No shit, Sherlock. Oh my god. So yeah, get your car patched. A Russian hacker has been convicted of $90 million rather of hack to trade charges. So basically, hacking in looking for company information which will provide them or their customer, or the hacker or the hacker's customers, insights into corporates, which can then be used to manipulate trades, as in predict predict stock movements. What do my brain is running away. Predict stock share price changes, those sorts of things. So that's in itself, is probably no surprise. Yeah, if you wanted to be involved in financial fraud, then that's probably quite an effective way of doing it. However, the the hacker in question was the owner of M13, which is a Moscow-based cybersecurity firm offering penetration testing and APT emulation services. So the moral of this story is, if you are going to engage with pen testers, firstly, put some effort into finding out whether the pen testers you're using are legit. You may not always be able to identify everyone who's dodgy in the field, but at least you should do, due diligence on the pen testers and the organisation that you're contracting to do your pen tests. And secondly, actually act on what comes out of a pen test. So, you know, most pen tests find ways in which well, in fact, I was going to say they find ways in which you can be, compromised. But actually, what they're really doing is they're finding areas that you need to improve your security on. So, don't put it on the shelf. Actually, do something about it. And I would definitely recommend, if the report doesn't give you clear recommendations as to how to address the flaws that have been identified, you're probably using the wrong pen tester or wrong pen testing organization. Expect clear, concise, actionable information as to how to address any vulnerabilities identified. Okay, so on to different things. I came across a very good article that talks about common vulnerabilities in Salt or SaltStack. So SaltStack is an open source orchestration platform. It's kind of similar to Puppet, at least in concept. Quite widely used and actually very powerful. Used it a reasonable amount myself. However, it is easy for common misconfigurations to lead to weaknesses in the salt environment. Weaknesses then, because of the nature of this, will allow the salt master. Oh dear, they've got terrible wording, haven't they? Salt master basically holds jobs or states or whatever it may be, and then minions. I do love the terminology. The minions then check in and find out what they're supposed to do, and then undertake those actions for whatever the device is that is being managed. So consequently, if you can compromise this system in one way or another, you could actually get the minions to do things that you wouldn't want them to do. So three things that are fairly straightforward to address are looking into whether you're using automatic minion enrollment. Sounds like a bad idea. Checking that the secrets, as in how the minions and the master authenticate each other, or part of that system anyway, secrets are stored in files rather than in the Salt's pillar system. The pillar system is kind of where you define the states of things that you want. Create the create the files that define the end state that you're looking for. And then there's also exposure sensitive or unintended files, including the Salt's pillar system. Those three things are relatively straightforward to address, but they're easy to misconfigure. So if you're using Salt, have a look into those. The fourth one is around the possibility of Ginger template injections, which is basically down to trusting minions too much. A little bit more complicated. The article is really good and goes into some depth about what you should do in order to address these. So definitely to avoid these particular issues, I would recommend that you have a read of this article. I think it is a very useful kind of checklist, if nothing else, if you're using Salt, as I know a lot of organisations are. And then finally from me, hacking disinformation team, meddling in elections. Sounds like we're going off on a QAnon conspiracy theory direction, but actually this one isn't. It's an article in the Guardian that shows that a team of contractors claim to have manipulated more than 30 elections around the world using hacking, sabotage and automated disinformation on social media. The unit was run by an ex Israeli Special Forces operative, and now is working in the private sector, and has been able to at least attempt. I don't know how. It's unclear how successful it's been, but I suspect that that it wouldn't have got into the Guardian unless there was some indication that it's been successful. That he has been, or his organisation has been involved in. Manipulating public opinion in Africa, South and Central America, US, and Europe. Um, so, uh, what do you do? Well, do you trust stuff you see on social media? I think increasingly people are skeptical of stuff being found, being promoted on social media. We do. There's a lot of talk about the Russians affecting US elections and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, you may think, well, this is all just conspiracy theorist rubbish, but actually, it looks like, unsurprisingly, it is an area that is actively being targeted. So, if you're living in a country where there are upcoming elections, put your skeptical hat on when you're reading stuff on social media. Just ask, why is somebody trying to uh, influence my opinion? Do your own research, make up your own mind. Don't just follow the crowds. So that's all from me today. Hope you have a great day, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow morning.